When I was younger, I learned in Sochachev Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. My chavrusa was Ben Acher Ben from the Alesk. The Alesk was one of the big Hasidic Rebbes in Europe, whatever it was, 150 years ago. I'm not sure exactly the dates. Rabbi Henoch from Alesk, he wrote a sefer called Lev Sameach. It's called the Lev Sameach. It's called the Alesker. He was a very big makubal, big tzaddik, and he was one of the tzaddikim that people used to bring Dybbukim to. The Dybbuk means if they had these neshamas, we don't have them nowadays anymore. But neshamas of people who are so bad that they're not even eligible to get into Gehenna, to start the Tara process so that they can get to Gan Eden. So instead they become Dybbukim. These neshamas that get chased around by Malachi Chabola, angels of destruction who torture them. The only respite they have is that they can go into the body of a human being. So this used to happen in Europe. Doesn't happen anymore. Supposedly the last Dybbuk that ever happened was the Dybbuk that came to the Chafetz Chaim with Rebbe Chanan, famous story. But after that, we haven't seen Dybbukim. So if a person got possessed by a Dybbuk, they used to bring the person to a tzaddik who knew how to get the Dybbuk out. Not everybody was able to do it. So one of these tzaddikim was the Alesker, and people used to, when this would happen, they would be brought to him. So the Alesker actually kept a notebook, which he called Megillah Storm, hidden notebook, of the accounts that he had with Dybbukim. So this Megillah Storm was never published, but the family has it. So the Henoch allowed me to make photocopies. So I have it. If I had the guts, I would publish it. Because it's such a chizik in Amunah. I mean, he literally has the conversations that you have with these Dybbukim about what's happening in Shemayim and what Chatam they did and the punishments. I mean, it's enough to make a good Jew out of anybody. I would publish it, but as of yet, I don't have the guts to go against the family. But so in there, in one of the conversations they had with one of the Dybbukim, it was a Dybbuk of a person, a Jew who was a murderer, who came back as a Dybbuk and possessed a lady, a from lady. So it's a whole long story with various things that he does to try to get the Dybbuk out, long details. In the course of the conversation, he speaks to the Neshama, he speaks to the Malachi Chabola. So the Malachi Chabola told him, or maybe the Dybbuk told him, that the Malachi Chabola, each one of them is as big as the entire world. These two Malachim that are chasing him, each one of them is as big as the entire planet Earth. Later, he finally davens, and he hears a voice. He couldn't see, but he was able to hear. He heard a voice saying, Russia, get out of the lady. And then the lady started to convulse and contort, and then was at peace. So he said, the Aleska couldn't see, he was able to just only hear voices. So he said, who's left? So they said, just the Malachi Chabola. The Malachi Chabola responded, just us. The Dybbuk is gone. So he said to them, what happened? Who was that voice that I heard saying that the Dybbuk should leave? And then all of a sudden the Dybbuk left. So they said, a tremendous malach came out of Shemayim, Oyim v'noirah. And he came down and he said that the Aleska davened, and you have to listen, and the Dybbuk has to leave now. So he commanded us to chase out the Dybbuk. So the Aleska said to Malachi Chabola, but why were you so nispal from that malach? Aren't you guys each as big as the entire world? So they said, oh, no shaykhs. This malach is an eish oichel eish. He's a fire that consumes fire. He could burn us up way bigger than us. We had to listen to him. So the Aleska said, how holy was he? So they said to him, Kimoy ish Yisrael, like a Jew. Like a Jew. Like if we want to describe like the Kedusha of that Malach, it was an Eish Eichel Eish, a fire that could consume fire, that could burn up these Malachim who are as big as the entire world. the closest thing they could find to describe it is like a Jew. You see, because they see past the body and they know the fireball of Kedusha that's inside a Jew. So when they look at a Jew, they're seeing a malach that's oyim b'noira. And we walk around the world like bumbling fools, totally oblivious to who we are.